We're coming up. If you look to your right up here, you'll see the sign says Sun Studio. See that guitar? Sun Studio is where Elvis first recorded, the birthplace of rock and roll.
Well, you may go to college, you may go to school, you may have a pink Cadillac, but don't you be nobody's fool. Now, baby, come back.
They say if music were the universe, Sun Studio is where the Big Bang took place. Howlin' Wolf, B.B. King, Little Milton, Roscoe Gordon, these were guys that Sam Phillips recorded first, before Elvis walked in there.
Come back, baby, I wanna play house with you. Hit it!
So this is Beale Street. You know, back in the day, Memphis was very segregated. Main Street was where whites did their shopping. Beale Street was where blacks did their shopping. And for blacks coming up out of the Mississippi Delta, Beale Street was this fantastic place for, they could, shop, they could go to movies. It was bright lights, big city. As Rufus Thomas said one time, if you were white but could be black for one night on Beale Street, you'd never want to be white again. And Elvis absorbed the culture. He was buying clothes down off Beale Street, zoot suits and pink tuxedos and double-breasted suits, that looked cool. So this is the Lorraine Motel. This is where Martin Luther King was assassinated. A very important part. Now it's the National Civil Rights Museum, a very profound museum.
The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom was, at the time and still to this day, the biggest and largest civil rights demonstration in the history of the 20th century. And Dr. King talks about this dream that he had.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream.
So Dr. King comes to Memphis, Tennessee in the spring of 1968 on support of African-American sanitation workers, and he stays here at the Lorraine Motel. He was scheduled to go and eat dinner at a local Memphis minister's home that evening, and then one of his very last remarks was that his chauffeur told him that he needed to bring his top coat, and Dr. King was leaning on the balcony, and he looks directly across Mulberry Street, and he says, "Now, do you really think I'll need a coat?" And at that exact moment, the time was 6:01 p.m. Central Standard Time, and a shot rang out 205 feet across Mulberry Street. The assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is a day that will live in infamy in the same manner of Pearl Harbor, President Kennedy's assassination, the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. And the United States was subject to severe looting in the days immediately after the assassination. On the night that it began, there were riots going on. 46 people died in the days leading after Dr. King's death. Over 2,500 were jailed, and over 3,000 were hospitalized.
Martin Luther King had just been assassinated, and Elvis had spent the better part of the 60s in the movies.
Kissing me quick.
Not doing great work, not really making great music. And the day that Elvis hears about Martin Luther King being shot, he's on another movie set singing some insipid song to a donkey or a parrot or on a beach somewhere, and it's just meaningless. And he's finally had it. And King's death was too big of an event to ignore. And so King's death is one of the reasons that prompted him to do the '68 comeback special, which included the song, If I Can Dream.
There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in a sky more blue. If I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, tell me why, oh why can't my dream come true?
It's one of his most iconic songs, from the late career, from the 70s. But if you need to put it in context, I think. Some years before that, Sam Cooke had come out with The Change Is Gonna Come. I mean, these were big anthem songs, and people were deeply concerned about civil rights and all that.
We're lost in a cloud.
And this song, If I Can Dream, was sort of Elvis's chance to get back with the, big anthem song, a big, long anthem song that was a message song.
That's trouble with pain, but as long as a man strength to dream. He can redeem his soul and fly.
If anything, Elvis really believed in the art that he was presenting, you know, and he wasn't just pretending to sing that song because he wanted to act like he was socially conscious. You know, I think he really did. You know, he grew up in the South. He knew what the conditions were in the South.
Out there in the dark.
That time, Elvis was one of the biggest stars in the world. So I think that with him being a part of the city of Memphis and this tragic event occurring in the city, he, as an entertainer, felt compelled to speak about his grief.
I can dream. Please let my dream come true. Whoa. Right now.
And if you know, the lyrics are beautiful. If I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, that is almost Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech.
Thank you. Good night.